Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6 a.m.
Now on News 6 Mornings, the first vote in Results 2024 as millions of Floridians head to the polls. What you need to know about today's presidential primary and the other races on the ballot.
Plus, a young girl stabbed to death during spring break. The message a local therapist has when it comes to reducing violence among teens.
In a popular restaurant now being considered a total loss after fire rips through the building. The questions investigators are still trying to answer more than 24 hours later. Good morning on your Tuesday at 6 a.m. I'm Crystal Moyer.
And I'm Lewis Bolden. Bridget has the day off. Trooper Steve is watching the roads, and meteorologist Jonathan Kegas is in for Candace and has your pinpoint accurate forecast. Jonathan, I have to give it up to you. You warned us all morning yesterday. It was coming.
No surprise.
And it's definitely chillier.
Yeah, a little cooler out there this morning. You might want the lighter jacket. Tomorrow's the day for the heavier jacket out there as temperatures really plummet overnight. But we do get rid of the wind overnight, too, so it's kind of that catch-22. It is gusty out there right now, adding a little bit of insult to injury. Temperatures have slipped back into the upper 50s in Orlando. We're hanging around 60 degrees right now in Kissimmee. We're pretty close to where we should be for this time of the year. Tomorrow's the day again. Tomorrow morning is the day that we are way below normal in terms of the low temperatures. We've slipped now into the upper 40s in Ocala, 46 in Gainesville, as that colder air trickles down the Florida peninsula and really settles in through the afternoon and especially overnight. Temperature change over the past 24 hours, again, 20 to 25 degrees colder at this hour than it was yesterday at this time for us in Marion County, about 10 to 15 degrees below where we were yesterday at this time in Orlando across the coast. Same deal, about 15 to 20 degrees colder than where it was yesterday at this hour. So again, that front means business. High temperatures, even with dominant sunshine today, get back to the mid to upper 60s. Look at all the sunshine, though. By lunchtime, we're in the lower 60s, mid 60s by 2. It will stay breezy, but that wind does subside through the evening and overnight, and that allows the temperatures to plummet overnight. We're going to talk much more about that coming up at about 6:17. First, though, I want to get you a check on those roads with traffic safety expert Trooper Steve.
Thank you, Jonathan. Right now, we are slow along eastbound I-4 and the attraction. So we're about from Champions Gate all the way up to 192. It is stop and go right now, and it's not getting any better. So this is .cam just west of that location at Champions Gate. You can see traffic beginning to slow. Please, I say this all the time because it prevents crashes from happening. Increase your following distance. And just because there's space next to you, that's not for you. That's for that maybe larger vehicle to have some buffer room. 19 minutes, Kissimmee to downtown 14. Coming in from Lake Mary, there's that eastbound delay for the first .cam, and then the second delay right there before 429. I do have a crash that just came out at John Young here at President's. I'll get more info when I get back. Guys, back to you.
All right, Steve, thanks. And now to results 2024. In just a matter of minutes, polls will open across the state for the presidential primary.
Millions of registered Republicans will be able to cast their ballot in a race for the White House. But that's not the only reason to head to the polls. News 6's Ezzy Castro joins us live from the Orange County Supervisor of Elections office. And Ezzy, several local races will also be decided today.
You're right, Crystal. But yes, GOP voters across Florida will be able to cast their ballot today to secure their presidential nomination. Now, I'm going to step aside here so you can see that it is busy at the Supervisor of Elections office in Orange County. The Supervisor of Elections telling me it is going to be a busy day.
Developing now, a community is working to come together after an Orange County teen is stabbed to death just as spring break was getting underway. Deputies say Kennedy Williams was killed Friday night, allegedly at the hands of a 15-year-old following a fight. Now many people are asking, how could this be prevented? News 6's Treasure Roberts spoke with a mental health counselor who has an important message for parents.
In just a matter of hours, commissioners in Mount Dora are expected to sign off on an agreement to give police officers a big boost in pay. Under an agreement between the city and Fraternal Order of Police, sworn members of the Mount Dora Police Department will see their pay go up by 13%. The deal would also boost the pay for outside police services to a minimum of $45 an hour for officers and $50 for supervisors. If approved, the new pay scale will begin on April 9th. Turning back to weather, Jonathan, it's the first day of spring. It really doesn't feel like it this morning.
No, it does not. Yeah, you'd be fooled if you step outside your door this morning. Temperatures getting back into the mid-50s right now for us in Sanford. Orlando, we're back to 58 degrees for us in Ocala. There goes the tumble. We are back to the upper 40s now. The colder air, the coldest of the next few nights, is coming in tonight, and by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, we're going to have widespread 40s, if not even several 30s popping up on this map tomorrow morning across most of Central Florida, at least northwest of I-4. It's breezy out there. The wind gusts 25 to 30 miles an hour, give or take. Look at that, 33-mile-per-hour gust being reported in Melbourne, a little bit lower than that, a little bit lighter for us in Cocoa Beach. It is still very gusty, and you see off the shore there where those darker red colors are popping up, that's 40 to 50-mile-per-hour gusts. So that means the breeze is really going to crank up the surf over the next couple of days as well. And again, we're going to keep the gustiness, if you will, through the course of the afternoon. But by the time we get to the evening, we will gradually see those winds subside. That will continue into tomorrow morning. And it's the clear skies, calm winds, perfect ingredients for the temperatures to drop. Speaking of dropping, our rain chances go back to 0 over the next couple of days. And then we see this giant spike here back to 70%. We're pinpointing a bigger system coming at us from the Gulf, from about the Gulf Coast of Texas, taking its trip across the Gulf of Mexico. And we're going to talk about that system coming up at about 6:47. The pollen count, as a result of that, finally going to drop a little bit. We're going to have that altitude forecast then as well coming up in a little bit. First, though, want to get you check on those roads. The traffic safety expert, Trooper Steve.
So instead of a cake of pollen, we'll have like a frosting.
Yeah, I mean, you need a snow scraper out there. I mean, it's terrible. It's
I took my yard blower to do the patio yesterday, and I felt it was like a movie. I was being infected.
Giant cloud.
Just poof, I was like, run!
Apocalyptic,
Get out of here. Eastbound, they're picking up that lane closure as we speak. You can see the crash truck right here. That's what they call it. As it's backing up here, picking up that lane closure. Hey, 11 minutes, better late than never. So eastbound I-4, hopefully we'll see this delay go away in a few, but the drive time, it's about average. 18 minutes from that spot to downtown Orlando. Just take it nice and easy. Guys, back to you.
All right, Steve, thanks. It is 6:12. Studies have shown drinking too many sodas can be bad for your health.
But could there be some that are actually good for you? Coming up, consumer experts put several brands to the test. Which ones are hype and which ones could actually benefit you?
But first, new details surrounding a string of shootings along Jacksonville Beach that left one person dead. Up next, the message the police chief has for those responsible.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Orlando Health.
What is happening?
We're packing up and taking our newscast on the road.
Oh, that's happening now?
Now, so let's go.
Every month, we're going to be broadcasting live from a different community.
Because we want to speak with you, hear about the things that concern you most.
It's time you create the roadmap for our newscast. See what I did there?
WKMG hits the road live. Are we coming to your neighborhood?
To find out, go to clickorlando.com/hitstheroad now.
See you soon.
A 750-pound alligator for a pet? Uproar after authorities took Albert the gator away. Next, Inside Edition.
Tonight at 7:30 on News 6. Live with Bridget Ellison, Crystal Moyer. Weather with meteorologist Candace Campos and Central Florida's only traffic safety expert, Trooper Steve. This is News 6 Mornings, getting results.
Welcome back. We have new video this morning showing crowds running for cover after gunfire erupted along Jacksonville Beach. The whole thing unfolding as hundreds were out celebrating St. Patrick's Day and the start of spring break. Police now say there were 3 separate shootings Sunday night in the packed bar district. 1 person was killed and 3 others hurt. Officers say it started after they tried breaking up a crowd of teens who gathered for an organized fight. Investigators say in one of the incidents, a tourist was injured after being shot 3 different times.
Quite frankly, I'm pissed off. If you know, we have a reputation out here as a law and order city. I'm a law and order police chief. If you're going to commit a crime, don't come here.
Jacksonville Beach police immediately locked down the area while they searched for the gunman. Officers say 2 of the people injured are being considered suspects in the first shooting. The gunman and the other 2 are still on the run.
And here's another tip. No matter the drink, check for added sugar, sodium, and other ingredients. You can check out the results of Consumer Reports taste test right now on the functional beverages on clickorlando.com/insider. Well, if you still have some VHS tapes laying around your home, you may be in luck. Turns out they're making a comeback.
A blast from the past. VHS, just like vinyl records, have been surging in popularity on social media. It has even prompted a California cinematographer to open Be Kind Video, catering to old school fans who affectionately call themselves tape heads. While you can get movies much faster by connecting to a streaming service, fans say VHS and stores that sell them bring back memories of simpler times.
Sure, it's cheaper though.
So you guys, okay. Am I going to age myself here? Do you guys remember when our resume reels were on VHS?
You're aging hard, boss.
I sent a couple on VHS.
Jonathan's with me.
Say what?
Because the TV station that I sent it to still required it.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
it was very
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of people are going out buying the old school cameras, like the camcorders that you put the VHS tapes in. But we have, you could put a filter but they, okay.
It's crazy.
I think it'd be cool to get something converted to VHS, just to have.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of fun.
For sure. Temperatures this morning, guys, off to a start in the 50s for most of Central Florida. We do have a few 40s starting to creep in from north to south. We're back to the upper 40s now in Ocala. We've slipped into the mid 40s in Gainesville, and that's where the core of the colder air is, chilling up in the deep south, and it's gradually going to trickle down the peninsula through the course of the day. It's kind of battled the sunshine. That will be dominant today. We are going to see a lot of it. Here's a live look for us in downtown Orlando with our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Skycam. It's all about the breeze. May have woken you up prematurely with the rustling branches out there. It was gusty overnight with that front as it came through. The breeze right now out of the north, again, pushing all of that chill right back into Central Florida. Right now, we're back to the upper 50s. Not too terribly bad out there, but it is gusty. Wind gusts will stay elevated over the next few hours. There you go by 9 o'clock. Get about that 20 to 30 mile per hour ballpark across most of Central Florida. There we go by 3 o'clock later this afternoon. Still the same deal. Watch what happens, though, by tomorrow. Gradually, these winds go to near calm, especially the further north and west of I-4 you are for us in Gainesville, Ocala, and the Villages. And that is exactly where we are going to see the coldest of the air settle back in. We keep on talking about it. Clear skies, calm winds. Perfect ingredients for what we know as radiational cooling, as any warmth generated radiates back up into space whenever you have clear skies and calm winds. There's the culprit. There's the front. It's down closer to the Bahamas right now. The blue and white there representing the cloud cover on the infrared satellite. And you see there we are quickly getting rid of any cloud cover, clear skies through Atlanta, back through Alabama, into Texas. All because of that area of high pressure sliding through. Now, that is eventually going to sit right on top of us, and that's what's going to keep our skies clear and calm our winds to do this by tomorrow morning. Back to the upper 30s in Ocala, so get the heavier jacket ready. 44 in the Villages, 48 for us in Orlando. Good morning in Cocoa Beach. Tomorrow morning for us, we're going to wake up to temperatures around 50 degrees. Now here's a look at your pinpoint accurate forecast.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency? You ought to call Strata.
Deceptive sunshine, at least a little bit different from the near 90-degree temperatures we had over the weekend. 51 for us by 9 o'clock, 57 by 11. We'll top out in the mid to upper 60s later today. Forget about the sunshine. Hardly a cloud in the sky through the afternoon, but it is on the cooler side. Palm Coast, we're back to 61, 67 in Orlando. Right around 70 degrees for us in Kissimmee, St. Cloud, and into Point Siena. Now here's a look at your pinpoint accurate forecast. On the first day of spring and election day, we're back to the upper 60s again. Chilly start in the 40s, a few 30s out there tomorrow as well. Gorgeous in the afternoon, mid 70s. Next best shot of rain comes on Friday. We're going to look at that system at 6:47. First, though, I want to get you a check on those roads and send things over to traffic safety expert Trooper Steve.
Your choice of words are making this Tuesday really nice. Gorgeous, sunshine, clear skies. What more can you ask for?
Unless you like rain.
Well, then wait till Friday. I-4 right now, westbound. Look, if you like something that's not happening right now and we're giving it to you, don't know what to tell you. East and westbound looking clear. Sky 6 is up, meaning the skies are looking good. We just cleared Sand Lake coming up on 528 now. That eastbound delay has been picked up, but the delays are now going to start to be out there for the morning commute, but now a little lower. Drop down a minute. 17 minutes Osceola Parkway to downtown, so not too bad there. So just be careful. John Young and Presidents, this is not going to block any lanes on the main line. Watch out because they pulled it off to Presidents. Guys, back to you.
All right, Steve, thanks. It is 6:23, keeping crowds safe during spring break.
At the bottom of the hour, the warning coming from local police as they work to get results along the coast.
But first, getting ready. Spring cleaning, it could do more than just improve your home. Ahead, how getting rid of clutter can boost your health.
This portion of the news is sponsored by the Flooring Center.
One of the most frustrating things I've ever dealt with. So I can't thank you guys enough.
Breaking news, traffic. When you need to know what's going on in your neighborhood, trust Sky 6 to get the bigger picture. Exclusively sponsored by attorney Dan Newland.
We're not going to talk about what my house looks like. All right, well, still to come on News 6 Mornings, a new debate surrounding Volusia County's old jail.
The problems the city of DeLand says they're seeing with the vacant building and why a decision over its future may not happen for months.
And thousands of Floridians set to head to the polls today for the state's presidential primary. But that's not the only race on the ballot. The important local contest set to be decided today.
News 6 got me results in the most favorable I could get. They couldn't bring my husband back, but you made the pain kind of go away.
Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results.
Now on News 6 Mornings, millions of Floridians are getting set to cast their ballot. What you need to know if you're headed to the polls.
Plus, a shooting in the heart of downtown Orlando puts 2 people in the hospital. What we're learning about the person who pulled the trigger.
And as more people head to the beach, officers are tagging along, a ride along with them about how they're tackling crowd control on the coast. Good morning, Central Florida. I'm Lewis Bolden, in for Bridget.
And I'm Crystal Moyer. Thanks for staying with us on this Tuesday. We'll have those stories ahead, but we want to start with a check of your chilly pinpoint weather with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas in for Candace.
Good morning. Certainly one of the coldest mornings we've felt in weeks. Tomorrow will certainly be that as we fall even more than what we're waking up to right now. We are at 49 degrees in Ocala, and the wind is also gusting to about 20 or 30 miles an hour, depending upon where you are. 54 for us in Leesburg, 62 in Melbourne. Good morning. At 59 degrees on our way back only into the mid to upper 60s. Here's the change over the past 24 hours, about 20 to 25 degrees below where we were yesterday, a little bit colder for us northwest of I-4 as that colder air continues to trickle down the Florida peninsula. Not going to help much. The sunshine will. Temperatures get back into the mid to upper 60s. You see the dominant sunshine across the board. It's a little deceptive out there. Still breezy, but a lot of sunshine, a little cool today. Even colder tonight. We're going to talk about where we bottom out coming up in a couple of minutes. First, though, I want to get you a check on those roads with traffic safety expert Trooper Steve.
Thank you, Jonathan. Excuse me. Sky 6 has made it out towards the attractions area. They're over I-4 in Celebration. Looks like they need to fix the street light that's flashing right there in the community. So looks like they're about to land out there. Now, eastbound, we are slow. So just take it nice and simple. Please look how thick this is. This is at Champions Gate at 6:30 in the morning. It's pretty dark out there. Increase your following distance. Good thing is no crash. But look, we went from 17 to 21-minute drive time from Kissimmee to downtown. Outside of that, we are starting to see some stuff pop off. So US 27 south of 192 looks like we have a crash with some lane block. I'll get some info on that. Guys, back to you.
All right, Steve, thanks. In results 2024, it is primary day, and polls are set to open across Florida for Republican voters to cast their ballot. And along with the primary, there are several local races underway, including determining leadership in several Central Florida cities. As we count down the minutes until the polls open, News 6's Ezzy Castro joins us live outside the Orange County Supervisor of Elections office with what to expect. Good morning, Ezzy.
Good morning, Lewis. I actually spoke to the new Supervisor of Elections of Orange County, Glenn Gilzian, and he told me that he's expecting a very busy day out here, not only because of the presidential primary elections, but there are other elections happening across Central Florida, too.
Developing now, we now know the man who pulled the trigger in a downtown shooting last week is a security guard. Police say he was in uniform and armed when a fight broke out between the 26-year-old guard and a 62-year-old man outside of the Corona Cigar Company. If you don't know where that is, it is right along South Orange Avenue at Pine Street. It's basically in the heart of the downtown bar district. The man in his 60s ended up shot. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Police are still investigating. It's an unoccupied eyesore in the middle of downtown on West New York Avenue near South Florida Avenue. It's been vacant for over 25 years when the jail moved to a new facility back in 1998. The building is considered unsafe because of the amount of asbestos inside. People in the area had their hopes up because a potential fix was on the city's voting agenda last night, but no such luck. City leaders learned they would have to wait until a pending lawsuit over the property makes its way through the court. That could take anywhere from 6 months to a year.
We've been telling you about the spring break crackdown since the beginning of the month, and as more people are heading to the beach, there have been several arrests of people bringing guns and drugs with them. News 6's Molly Reed rode along with the New Smyrna Beach police chief to see firsthand how they're tackling the crowds this year. Turning now to your weather forecast with Jonathan Kagis. I know today might not be the best beach day because we're dealing with a big chill.
Now, it's going to be sunny at least, so you can work on the tan, make sure you load up on the sunscreen, but it is going to be a little cool. It's certainly breezy out there, especially along the coast. We have air temperatures right now in the mid-50s in Daytona Beach, 59 for us at the Cape. We're hanging around 50 in Palm Coast, right around 60 in Orlando. Same deal for us into Kissimmee and Point Siena to Celebration. Good morning. We're hanging around 60 degrees, 49 for us in Ocala. That colder air is starting to spill down the peninsula as we speak, and it's going to kind of counteract the dominant sunshine we're going to see today. You can clearly see here where the change is occurring, at least the most extreme change from yesterday, about 20 or 25 degrees colder at this hour than yesterday at this time in Jacksonville, certainly toward Gainesville and Lake City. And it's that colder air that continues to spill down the Florida peninsula. And again, it's going to battle the sunshine, so it's not going to warm us up much. We're talking highs in the upper 60s today. The cold front responsible now down closer to the Bahamas. The cloud cover that was with it, you see the clear skies now dominating our skies. There's that big chunk of high pressure responsible for carving out the sunshine today, but also chilling us down later tonight. We're going to talk much more on how cold we get in a few minutes. First, though, I want to get you check on those roads. The traffic safety expert, Trooper Steve.
Thank you, Jonathan. Sky 6 is actually headed towards our neck of the woods here within the next few minutes. John Young and Edgewater Lee Road area. Report of a crash. Our studio's right here. So I'm actually going to step outside here in the commercial break to see if I could see what's going on. But they're reporting a southbound lane severely blocked here at John Young Parkway, right around OBT Lee Road area. So please be careful. They're doing their best to get out here to give us a visual. The eastbound delays out on I-4 pretty severe. Yesterday, nice patrol welcomed in an amazing guest with the DAV program, and they provide transportation services for disabled veterans. And they have actually a great partnership with the VA hospital. Head over to clickorlando.com and watch that really good conversation with this gentleman. Today, keeping it simple, we're talking about that loud device that's in your vehicle, the horn, and when you should be using it, when you should not, and what the law says. So join me, 8:30, clickorlando.com. Guys, back to you.
I'm looking forward to that one. Thanks, Trooper Steve. He's going to be back in just a few minutes to answer one of your questions.
Coming up, the rules on the road when it comes to motorcyclists weaving in and out of traffic.
First, though, the country's highest court blocking a controversial immigration law in Texas. What this means for the crisis at the southern border.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Freedom Health Medicare Advantage plans. It's all in the Plus. Download the new 6 Plus streaming app on your smart TV or streaming device to start watching today. Live with Bridget Ellison, Crystal Moyer. Weather with meteorologist Candace Campos and Central Florida's only traffic safety expert, Trooper Steve. This is News 6 Mornings, getting results.
It is 6:44 on your Tuesday. That means it is time for Ask Trooper Steve, where we answer the questions that you sent in. And today, Steve, we're talking about motorcycles.
Motorcycles, I'll put this out there. Look, this isn't a hit on anybody. I like motorcycles too. I just need to tell you what the law says.
I'm so glad to see them back open. It is the first day of spring and allergies are in full bloom. So if you're sneezing, coughing, or sniffling, you're definitely not alone. In fact, 4 Central Florida cities landed on a new list ranking the 100 most challenging areas in the U.S. for allergy sufferers. Orlando came in at number 16, ranking worse than average overall. Lakeland is also on the list at 33. Daytona Beach is at 36, and Palm Bay came in at number 37. And it's mostly from all that pollen. Take a look at these images of cars coated with the stuff. In Central Florida, the biggest pollen producers tend to be giant oak trees, and we all know they are everywhere.
This looks like the photos were taken in our parking lot.
Yeah, could be for sure.
Right?
You know, every time I see pollen-covered cars or I see people who are really hot, I just think to myself, at least it's not snowing.
That's true.
How about let's be blessed where we live?
We are definitely blessed.
Yes.
We're definitely blessed to be here.
But there's no snow, folks.
That is correct. And it's certainly colder than where we were yesterday at this time. We're at 54 degrees right now in Daytona Beach. That's a live look in Daytona with our Daytona Toyota DeLand Kia Skycam. Every now and then you're going to see the Skycam bouncing up and down in the breeze. It is gusty out there. You may have heard that wind overnight as the front came through. Right now the breeze backing off a little bit out of the north at about 10 miles an hour. Temperature is a little cooler. We've now slipped into the upper 40s in Palm Coast. We're at 49 in Ocala, 51 in the Villages, 58 degrees for us in Orlando. Kissimmee, good morning. We are at 60, 56 for us waking up in Sanford. Lake Mary, good morning. We're back to the mid-50s as well. Now here's a look at your pinpoint, accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by Freedom Health Medicare Advantage plans.
The temperature is going to struggle a little bit, at least when compared to the last couple of days. It's sunshine out in full force, only back to the low 50s by 9. Mid to upper 60s will be your afternoon high temperature, even with all of that sunshine. We are going to keep the breeze gusty out of the north. It will settle down tonight to make way for this. The chill settles in. 39 for us in Ocala. We're at 44 in the Villages, 40 in Palm Coast tomorrow morning, 48 in Orlando, 49 in Melbourne. Certainly the coldest air we have felt since way back into the middle of February, several weeks ago. 8 o'clock this morning, we are looking really, really nice. Any cloud cover that was with us this morning, early this morning, is pushing out of here. The drier, cooler air is punching in as we speak. Just a few passing clouds in the mix through the rest of this evening. And then into tomorrow, we are dry the next couple of days, though. There you go. Late tomorrow evening, we're looking pretty good. Breezy and much cooler today. Then tomorrow, we're going to start to get back into the 70s after that very, very cold morning. Again, most of us in the 40s with a few 30s sprinkled in. And then once we get to Thursday night, and then especially Friday, that's when our next shot of rain comes in. We're going to be pinpointing this system here, this giant blob of green you see on your screen here, working its way across the North Gulf Coast. Still some uncertainty as to what part of Florida gets the heaviest rain out of the deal as we get into Friday, but nonetheless, this system is going to spike our rain chances back to about 60 to 70% for Friday, and this is also going to help the pollen count significantly. We're still in that high category for the next couple of days, but look at this. Subtle improvements Thursday, and when the rain comes in on Friday, and then there we go. We're still going to have pollen around, but it is going to be much, much better beyond that system. Here's a look at your pinpoint accurate 7-day forecast. Mid-70s tomorrow, 80 degrees on Thursday. There's those rain chances we just took a look at for your Friday. Nice for the weekend, it looks like. Mid-70s both Saturday and Sunday. Now we'll get you check on those roads. Send things over to traffic safety expert Trooper Steve.
Thank you, Jonathan. Sky 6 is like any second away from the scene of this crash here. They're passing over John Young and Silver Star right now where the Wawa is there. Should be showing up on this any moment. I'm trying to hold it for as long as I can here so we can get a visual. But DOT cam showing that things, if they angle it to the west here, we would see something. But this is going to be OBT at John Young Parkway where the report of this crash currently is. Sky 6 still showing up out there. But look, they're saying that John Young Parkway 423 is shut down right now at 441. Hopefully within the next few minutes or seconds when Sky 6 gets on there and you see me again towards the end of the show here, I'll be able to give you a little bit of update. But please avoid this area as much as you can, maybe Edgewater or 441 as your alternate right now. Guys, back to you.
All right, Steve, thanks. Coming up, the polls are just about to open and people across the state are gearing up to cast their ballot. An update coming up as we check our big stories.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Papa John's. You deserve to hear the best. That's why News 6 has partnered up with Mix 105.1. Listen to your pinpoint weather updates on Mix 105.1 while we pinpoint your weather on the go. Some teams are just better together.
It's 6:55. Let's check our big story, starting with News 6 Ezzy Castro live with what you need to know during today's presidential primary.
The polls will open in just a few minutes. This means that Republican voters across Florida will be able to cast their ballots for the GOP presidential primary. Now, the ballot will have 6 other Republicans who have already dropped out of the race, including Governor Ron DeSantis. And there are also local elections all across Central Florida open to everybody. We actually have a full list of those elections on clickorlando.com. Again, polls open at 7 a.m. and they'll stay open till 7 p.m. Lewis?
A 15-year-old is in custody this morning after a deadly stabbing over the weekend. One teen girl died and the other is in the hospital. Right now, we're still waiting on an incident report to figure out what exactly happened.
Less than 1 week after gun scares at the beach, we are getting an inside look at how officers are keeping people safe. News 6's Molly Reed went behind the scenes to see how law enforcement is cracking down on the crowds at the beach. You can find her full story on clickorlando.com. Jonathan.
A little cooler this morning. Might want the light jacket. We are going to have a lot of sunshine, but temperatures are going to be held into the mid to upper 60s. Much colder tomorrow morning. 40s across most of Central Florida, northwest of I-4. We're going to make a run for the upper 30s. Lots of sunshine again tomorrow. Rebounding back to the mid 70s. Next best shot of rain comes in on Friday. Trooper Steve.
Man, looks like Molly's after my job. Man, I need to go out and hang out. Okay, look, FHP website saying the roadway's open. I'm saying we're a little bit more accurate. Right now, John Young Parkway at Edgewater closed right now southbound. Sheriff's office has this shut down. Please avoid the area.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Remember, we break news on clickorlando.com.
You can also find all of our stories and podcasts on our News 6 Plus app for your TV. CBS Mornings is next.
When I looked her up, I saw some stories on it in the past from Channel 6. So I was like, let me call Eric, and from there, it went pretty smooth.